Y'all ready for this? 2012 Toyota Sienna, we're gonna be replacing the rear differential, that whole carrier assembly. It leaked all its fluid. They were driving it dry for quite a while and got a little damaged. So we're gonna do this on the ground. Shouldn't need any special tools. Let's get started. So we're gonna do this on roll-up stands, but it's up to you if you wanna just use a jack, put it on jack stands. Either way it works just fine. Now we wanna chock the front tire. Is it chock good enough, buddy? All right, so this is what we're dealing with. This is our differential carrier right here. It's this whole unit with this skid plate. And you can see, even though fluid was filled back in it, we're leaking. So that's what caused this initial failure. First thing I wanna do is get our axles off. Our CV axles, there's 4 bolts, and we'll do it to both sides, so get both axles off. And these are 14 millimeter. If you have an impact, that would work really well if you can get in there. Otherwise, having a really long ratchet can help too. Just something with a little torque. We'll bust it loose. Nice. Actually, that wasn't too bad at all. Okay, might use an extension on these ones up top. Let me go grab an extension. This little 3-inch. Now you can get to all of these without spinning the axle, so the tires don't have to move, and that will buzz them off. Now the manual had you remove the exhaust, but we don't need to do that. All right, last one. Now there should be enough flex in the CV axle to clear our studs. I'm gonna use a little pry bar to help me out. There we go. As long as it's out of the way like that, we're golden. So that's it on this side. Let's do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, on this side should be exactly the same. Now the manual also has you drain the fluid first, but there's only about half a quart of fluid in here, so it's not gonna make a big weight difference. So let's bust these loose. All right, same thing. We'll just pop this out and away. There, perfect. I can just lay down and rest. Now while we're over here, we'll pop this little breather tube off. Should just give it a little twist and it should pop right off. Mine's a little stuck. Use a pair of pliers. Just wiggle it back and forth. There we go, got it. Then there's a little harness retainer here. Now you can take it off, it's a 14 mil, or we can leave that bracket on and just take this connector off. This little tab you just pull down and this whole thing should just slide out like that. And then we can unplug it over here. There we go. So that's out of the way. That's it for this side. Now let's go to the front and pull off our drive line. So our drive line or propeller shaft bolts, these are 12 millimeter. Should be 4 of them. And same thing, just an extension. Crack them loose. Now we'll buzz them off. They should have washers too, we pop off. Get our pry bar in there. Give it a little pop. There we go. That's it. Now it doesn't have to come all the way off. As this lowers, we can slide this off. It'll get pretty close, maybe all the way. Let me see. No, it's close, but there's not quite enough flex, but that's okay. We're done here. Next is our bushing up front. It's just 1 bolt. Now we take it off from the bolt, not from the nut. It's a 19 millimeter. Now if you can get in there in between the exhaust with your pry bar, great. If not, you can use a little extension and go over the exhaust. I'm just gonna use a breaker bar. That wasn't too bad. Nice. We'll buzz it the rest of the way out. This is why you pull it off from the bolt and not the nut, because the nut has this little key on it. Now we'll wait to pull this out the rest of the way until we get a jack holding up our differential. Just keep that rested in there. All right, we got one more step. All right, we have a jack underneath somewhere in the middle. We just have 2 more bolts to pull off. One right here, and there's an identical one on the other side. Those are 19 millimeter. I'm gonna use an impact for those. Okay, I'm gonna keep threads on this still. I'm gonna do the other one. Okay, pull it out all the way. Do the same here. Okay, it's being just held by the jack now. I'm gonna move over and take off this front. Take that bolt out all the way. Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of hold on to it as I lower the jack. Okay, it's coming down. Perfect. I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna hold on to the front drive line. Now we can start sliding the jack back. And then the front drive line, we're just gonna kind of walk off. There we go. Okay, push the jack back a little more. Nice. Okay, the front drive line is free. Lower this the rest of the way. Perfect. Slide it out. Not too bad. Here's our new one, fresh out of the box. It's gonna be easier to fill it up with fluid when it's off of the vehicle than it is when it's put back on. There's a fill plug right on top and a fill plug on the side. The one on the side is what you would use when it's in the vehicle. We wanna take both of these off. Now yours might be a different size because this is a new aftermarket 24 mil for me. Pull that one off and then pull this one off. There we go. Then we want to use a 75-85. Doesn't have to be this red line, but 75-85 is the viscosity. We'll just pour it in the top until we start to see it dribble out of the side. Should be about half a quart. Okay, there we go. Wipe my little dribble off. We'll just let this dribble until there's just barely anything coming back out of it. Now on this top fill plug, I'm gonna put just a little bit of RTV on the threads because once this is in the vehicle, we don't have access. I just wanna make sure it is completely sealed and is not gonna give us any trouble. I think I'm running out of this RTV. Okay. Doesn't take a lot, just enough to coat the threads. Tighten that up. The torque on all these plugs is 29 foot-pounds, even the drain plug. Let's figure out how to hold this. Okay, put in our other fill, 29 foot-pounds. All right, that's it. Just wipe it down real good. Let's take this out by the car and transfer over our stuff. I guess we should start with our skid plate. These are 14 mil. Pull off our front mounting arm, 17 mil. Then we'll pull off our back mount, 17 mil. I think that's all we have to transfer. All right, our back mount. All right, now these are 90 foot-pounds. I'm just gonna stand on this side over here, see what we can do. Nice. I'll turn it over and we'll put this bracket on. These are also 90 foot-pounds. All right, and we'll put our skid plate once this is up. If these fell off on you, just make sure they're still in there or put back on. Let's slide it under. We'll get it up on our jack. I'm gonna use my leg to push the jack while I lift up the differential. There, perfect. Wasn't too bad. What's nice about this differential is it's not too heavy. Let me bring you under with me. Now the trick will be getting our drive line on before this is up all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and start jacking it up, holding on to it. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is just put a nut on, maybe 2 nuts, just to kind of prevent it from wanting to come off. There. I'm gonna keep coming up with it. Okay. I'm just trying to get this front in over here. Not sure if you can see. Move the camera just a smidge. Almost got it. There we go. Perfect. We'll get this nut on. Threaded a few threads. Nice. Now let's work on getting our back lined up. Move you around some more. Okay, so I'm gonna lower the differential just a smidge. Okay, my little spacer here came off. Put that on. Then I think the whole differential has to slide over. Okay, now up. I'm gonna get this side CV axle kind of lined up. Okay, let's get one of these in. Nice, got a couple threads. Come around and do this side. There we go. So just lowered the jack just a smidge to get it lined up. Okay, perfect. That's held on with threads. Now I'm gonna take the jack out completely. Nice. Now I just have more room to work with. I'm gonna put this axle back in. Now if you need to spin the axle a little, you should be able to. Got that lined up. So the front is lined up, this is lined up, the other side axle's lined up. Let's put this in, a little breather, or vacuum hose. Now my vacuum hose, I accidentally put a hole in it, so I'm gonna cut that back a little. Probably did that when I was using the pliers to break it loose. They give you plenty of hose, so I'm just gonna cut it back, get some fresh stuff, put it over. Beautiful. Okay, we'll plug in our electrical connector. Nice, and then our harness retainer. Perfect. All right, let's get a torque on everything. All right, these are 41 foot-pounds. All right, the other side's done the same way. Now let's do our driveline / propeller shaft. All right, same thing, got a washer and a nut. And these are torqued to 27 foot-pounds. All right, now we have our arm here, and this is 70 foot-pounds. Now our 2 back support bolts. These are 78 foot-pounds. All right, now our skid plate. Before we do that, I just want to make sure the drain plug is tight. Okay. And these are 32 foot-pounds. After that, we're ready to take it for a test drive. All right, that's it. not much to it. When you're taking it for a spin, all you're looking for is new vibrations or new noises. When you come back from the test drive, peek underneath with the flashlight, just make sure everything's sealed and we're not leaking anywhere. Other than that, we're good to go. If you have any questions, comment down below. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one.